In this video, I will be discussing how to divide polynomials using long division. But first, let us define some terminologies, just review. If you have the fraction a over b, a is called the numerator of the fraction, and b is the denominator of the fraction. Or otherwise, since a fraction is also a division, then a, the numerator, is the dividend, and the denominator is the divisor. If we are doing long division, we need to write down the fraction, if it is given in fraction form, into a divided by b. So the numerator goes inside the division symbol, and the denominator goes outside of the division symbol. A is your dividend, b is your divisor. We will follow the following steps in dividing polynomials using long division. Now, just take note that if the remainder is equal to 0, then the divisor is a factor of the dividend. Otherwise, if the remainder is not 0, then the divisor is not a factor of the dividend. Let us have an example. Let us divide x cubed plus 6x squared plus 13x plus 12 divided by x plus 3. Step 1 is to divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. The first term of the dividend is x cubed. The first term of the divisor is x. So basically, we will divide x cubed divided by x. Now, we will follow the rule for dividing exponents, polynomials with exponents. So when you divide, you have to to subtract the exponents. So x cubed divided by x will be x to the second power, because 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. So let's go ahead and put x squared anywhere in your quotient space, right? So this is the first term of the quotient. Next, we multiply the divisor. Remember, your divisor is x plus 3. We multiply the divisor by the first term of the quotient. So we'll multiply x squared times x plus 3. So x squared divided by x, multiplied by x plus 3 will give us x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 3 is 3x. And let's write it down here. X cubed plus 3x. The next step is to subtract. So we are going to subtract them. Okay. Now subtracting this, we have x cubed minus x cubed. It would cancel out. That becomes 0. Then 6x squared, oh, by the way, this should be 3x squared. It'd be 3x squared. So 6x squared minus 3x squared will give us 3x squared. And then we need to bring down the next term. So we bring down the plus 13x. Now, since the exponent, we call this the new dividend. Since the exponent of the new dividend is still greater than the exponent of the first term of the divisor, then we can continue dividing. So we go back to the previous step. We divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. So that means 3x squared divided by x. 3x squared, the first term of the dividend, x, the first term of the divisor. So you have an invisible 1 here. 3 divided by 1 will give you 3. And then remember, we have to subtract the exponents. So x squared divided by x to the first power is simply equal to x to the first power, or x. So this goes to the quotient. Okay? So plus 3x goes to the quotient. So that is the second term of the quotient. Next, we need to multiply that second term by the divisor. So we take the 3x and we multiply that by the divisor, by x plus 3. Again, using the distributive property, this will become 3x squared plus 9x. Let's write it down here. 3x squared plus 9x. And then we will have to subtract again. So 3x squared minus 3x squared, it totally cancels out. Becomes 0. And then 13x minus 9x. 13 minus 9 is 4. So that's 4x. And then we'll bring down the next term, which is positive 12. So 4x minus 12 plus 12 becomes our new dividend. Now, notice that the exponent of the first term here is 1. The exponent of the first term of the divisor is 1. They are still equal, so we can divide. We can still divide. So we continue the process. Okay, we divide again the first term of the new dividend, which is 4x, by the first term of the divisor, which is x. So we have 4x divided by x. The x would cancel out, and that would simply be equal to 4. So that 4 goes here on top. And then same thing again, you multiply the 4 times your divisor. So 4 times x plus 3. By the distributive property, we will get 4x plus 12. Let's write it down here. So 4x plus 12. And then again, we will subtract. So 4x minus 4x, it cancels out. 12 minus 12, it cancels out as well. So there is no remainder. Therefore, the answer here, the complete quotient, is equal to x squared plus 3x plus 4. And since the remainder is 0, then we can say that, okay, let me write it down here. Since the remainder, this is the remainder. Since the remainder is 0, then x plus 3, which is your divisor, is a factor of the given polynomial of x cubed plus 6x squared plus 13x plus 12. Let us do another one. So for this one, we have x squared plus 5x plus 1 divided by x plus 3. So again, first term of the dividend divided by the first term of the divisor. So you have x squared divided by x. And x squared divided by x is x. So we'll write down x here on top. And then we will have to multiply that quotient by the divisor. So that's x multiplied by x minus 3. Let's perform the distributive property. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. That goes right here. So x squared minus 3x. And then we have to subtract. So we have to subtract. X squared minus x squared is 0. That would cancel out. Now take a look here. You have 5x minus negative 3x. So if you have two negatives, it becomes positive. So we now have 5x plus 3x. And 5x plus 3x is 8x. And then we need to bring down the next term. So 8x plus 1 is our new dividend. We can still divide. 8x divided by x is equal to 8. Let me write it down here. 8x divided by x, first term divided by first term, is equal to 8. So this 8 here would go to the top. X plus 8. And then again, we will multiply. So take that 8 and multiply by the divisor. So 8 multiplied by x minus 3. Again, by the distributive property, this will be 8x. Then 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. So that goes in here. 8x minus 24. And then again, we have to subtract. So 8x minus 8x is equal to 0. They cancel each other out. And then we have 1 minus negative 24. Again, you have two negatives here. So it becomes positive. 1 minus negative 24 is the same as 1 plus 24, which is equal to 25. Now, this number here, 25, is of degree 0, meaning this is 25 times x to the 0. So the exponent of x here is 0. The exponent of x in your divisor is 1. Since the exponent of x in the new dividend is less than the exponent of x in the divisor, then that means we cannot divide anymore. We have to stop here. And this would be our remainder. Now, to write the answer, or the quotient, okay, the quotient would be whatever values you got here. So x plus 8. And then the remainder will be added. So that's the remainder over the divisor. So 25 over x minus 3. This would be the quotient, the answer to this problem. And since the remainder is not equal to 0, then x minus 3 is not a factor. It's not a factor of x squared plus 5x plus 1.